Good afternoon everyone, and I hope you're all well. Welcome to this video where I'm going to demonstrate how I achieved just over 25% reply rate to my cold emails offering my recruitment service. Now, it's a very high number because the industry average is 0.6 reply rate. So I'm going to show you my inbox and you can see obviously the timestamp on that. And if we scroll down, I sent the email about 6 o'clock automatically to go out to 100, I think it was 106 people. And these are the reply rates. So even at 6 a.m., 6:30, 7, 7:15, 8:40, and we've had a massive amount of replies from that email. I think it's probably over, I think it's close to like 30% off of that. So how did I achieve that? What did I do differently this time? And how it can work for yourself. So you just need to copy this. I'm going to show you exactly how I done it. And what it consists of is targeting specific types of companies in a certain industry and excluding those that are unlikely to use agencies or be long-winded if there's a different process. So this was in the healthcare industry, and it's not I wouldn't say the easiest industry to sort of win business, but it's not difficult in the grand scheme of things. So what I want to do is obviously demonstrate exactly what I done with that. So we're going to go ahead and how you can replicate this. So if we go on Indeed and if we type in healthcare assistant, let's just type in healthcare assistant, which is what the position I was looking to recruit for. And as you can see, this is going to serve as a training sort of tool. So we see 16,000 jobs, which is a very high number. And what we want to do is we want to put in the top title and then colon or semicolon or whatever it is. And the reason we put that, and we're going to click enter shortly, is because sometimes it picks up positions that aren't relevant. I mean, these seem okay at the moment, but I don't even know what that is. And so, yeah, it doesn't pick up positions like that. So what we want to do is we want to search, find jobs, and it's cut it right down. So it's excluded ones that don't have that in the title. So you want to be searching like that all the time. Title, dot, dot, and as you can see, how Indeed ranks people on the top. And what we want to do is we want to, before I get to that, we want to look at how many employers and how many staffing agencies. Now, some people say to me they can't see this column. You can go to advanced job search and do it from there. You might need to log into an employer account to do it. So if we see a half ratio, that's usually very good. So there's more staffing agencies than employers. Believe it or not, that's a brilliant sort of number. If you want to see 50 or 60 split or 60% agencies advertising on Indeed, that's a very good indication that there's a huge demand and a huge need for recruitment agencies. So what you're going to look at with that is if there's 1,000 employers posting jobs and only 60 or so staffing agencies, you don't want to engage with that sort of industry or that particular job title because it's very unlikely that they're going to use you. However, if you see a high amount of staffing agencies, it's a very good indication that those employers find it very difficult to recruit and they use agencies to source candidates. So what you want to do is check that. You can do that for any other search. You can just search anything you want and you don't have to come to me and say, is this a good industry? Should I recruit for this, etc.? Do they use agencies? So right off the bat, you can just do your little search there. It's not foolproof, but it's a good indication. So if we want to just filter out to employers, because we don't want to contact agencies, how Indeed ranks people. Now these are hospitals, these are companies that spend a lot on sort of marketing, or they have a lot of budget on their Indeed account. The more you spend on Indeed, the higher they rank you. They also trust employers more than recruitment agencies in a sense of ranking them higher. So what you want to look at is not necessarily contacting the first page. You want to go right to the back. And what we want to do is we want to go at the top where it says at and start equals 10. You want to put 400 in there. And what you want to look at with that is going right down to the bottom and finding out most of these will be agencies. And what you want to do is try and find a care home. And these are very unlikely to be contacted by agencies because they're so down the list. And obviously they've given their own time to sort of look at that. So we're going to look at these companies and we're going to look at what sort of profiles they are. And what I mean by profiles, how many employers do they have? How many, I mean, this doesn't even have a, how many employers do they have? Do they have any other sort of position that we could look at? with that. So I want to make sure it's not an agency. So they've got two positions. I mean, a registered nurse is probably what they're going to need. They're probably going to need a senior care assistant. Will be harder to sort. So I would initially, instead of going for the care assistant, I would contact them in the email and say, look, I saw you on your website, you're recruiting for a senior care assistant. Now, you want to pick not necessarily the most difficult job, but the one from experience, you know that a registered nurse is going to be difficult, especially on that wage, to try and find. So if you can offer your service for a registered nurse or a position that's going to be harder to sort, would be much, much better with that. Now, what I want to do is go over to their LinkedIn page and we want to see how many sites they got, how many employers they got, and it seems like a small, maybe a one little hair care home. So, looking at people, we want to see who there is from there, and we can see a director. There's ways you can get around when it says LinkedIn member. You can search in speech marks, and if you search LinkedIn at the end, it should pick up the correct person, so you don't actually have to go from there, and you can see that that's the person there, and that's the best way to go about it. And just to confirm, director of growth care, and that's the best way to go about it. And obviously you'd reach out to this person, you'd put their email address. You can use Apollo IO to sort of find people's email address, and that's the best way to go about it. And the reason is these companies will be bottom of the list, unlikely to be contacted by other agencies, and also with they'll have a less amount of applicants come through because there are people searching. If we just go to the first page, healthcare assistant, look, I'm going to apply for this, and then I'm going to go somewhere else. So, a bottom of the list, start from the bottom upwards. Tailor make your email. There's ways you can increase reply rate by just contacting those companies that are a bit obscure, contacting them. I mean, looking on their careers page, taking 10 seconds. I mean, this probably took me a minute. If I do this, 30 times in an hour, I've got 30 leads already. 3 hours, there we go. We've got 100 leads. I do it in the evening. I schedule it to go out in the sort of morning time. And just rinse and repeat. And if you give the harder position, I mean, if care assistant, they're just going to read it and think, oh, we're okay. We got 100 applicants. We don't even need to reply. And you're just thinking they never got back to you. But if you said registered nurse, they'll be like, hold on, this guy can help us find a registered nurse. We got no applicants for it. So make sure you do something similar to this. Do your research on the company. You don't want a company too large. Obviously, if you're emailing the NHS, all their sort of boroughs, they're not going to get back to you directly. It's hard to navigate, hard to find people. Most of it is done through a framework anyway. So good luck. Hope that helped. What I want you to do, if you want to get in contact with me, my email is in the description. Any questions, feel free to reach out. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Until the next time, take care.